Hi, this is Billy Keck, a longtime pet sitter and dog walker on Staten Island, New York. This is a celebration of life about Betty and her dogs Dusty, Casey, and Sasha. Betty was my customer on and off for about 10 years. Her dogs were my beloved friends. Anna, a pet sitter friend, invited me to share a pet sit with her. The gig was to visit a pair of dogs 5 times during weekdays, but my friend was a full-time x-ray technician and a part-time pet sitter. She could only visit the dogs on Tuesday and Thursday. Would I be willing to share the pet sit and visit the dogs Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? I agreed. I figured 60% of something was better than 100% of nothing. The pet sit was to visit Dusty and Casey. Dusty was a lab mix. Casey was a golden retriever and German shepherd mix. They were both very nice dogs. The owner, Betty, insisted we did not have to walk the dogs, just allow them in her big backyard and stay with them for a while. It was an easy pet sit. Betty and her dogs were among my earliest pet sitting customers. About a year later, Anna decided she only wanted to care for cats, so I ended up taking care of Dusty and Casey 5 times per week. Dusty and Casey were middle-aged dogs. They were longtime housemates and got along well with each other. Casey tended to be more dominant, but she was a very gentle spirit. If I petted Dusty too much, Casey would nudge between us and push Dusty out of the way so I would pet her. When we were in the backyard, Dusty liked to stand on the back porch doorway. If I petted Casey too much, Dusty would howl, "Aroo, aroo, aroo," as if to say, "Hey, what about me?" These were the happy years. Here is a video I took of Dusty and Casey on Friday, July 9th, 2004, using an old camcorder. The camcorder was designed to make it impossible to transfer video to PC format. I only recently acquired affordable hardware and software to do that. Woof woof! Hey Dusty! Where's Casey? Hey Casey, how you doing, Casey? Woof woof woof, woof woof woof. Woof woof woof. Hey Dusty, how you doing? Want a treat? Hey Dusty. Oh, there we go. Where'd you go? Here, Dusty, have a treat. That's Casey. That's Casey. Sorry, wrong dog. That's Casey. This is Dusty. This over here is Dusty. Hi, Dusty. Hi, Dusty. There you go. Yeah. Oh. Come on, let's go. Let's walk across the yard here. There's Dusty. Hi, Dusty. Hi, Dusty. And there's Casey. Hi, Casey. Anybody want a treat? Huh? Anybody want a treat? There's a treat. Hey, Casey. Dusty, there you go. Yum, yum, yum. There you go. Looking for treats. Looking for treats in all the wrong places. There you go. And there's the old tree. The old tree. That's the old tree. It's probably a maple tree. There's a catalpa tree. Let's go see which kind of tree it is. Those are maple tree limbs. Maple tree leaves. It is a maple tree. You don't want to step in anything down here. The dogs poo anywhere in the yard, so you gotta be careful with that. There's Casey. Hey Casey, how you doing, doggy? How you doing, doggy? And there's Dusty. Hi, Dusty. Hi, Dusty. Hey, Dusty. Hey, Casey. Here we go. Look how crazy dogs. There we go, crazy dogs. There we go, crazy dogs. Woof. There you go. Okay. And there's Dusty on the steps. Dusty likes to stand right on those steps. Right there she comes. Here comes Dusty. Everybody gets a treat. How about a treat for everybody? Anybody want a treat? Anybody? How about Dusty? Does Dusty want a treat? Here we go. How about Casey? Casey want a treat? Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Woof, woof, woof. I have photos of Dusty and Casey through 2005. Back then, I used a Canon snapshot camera for my pictures. It failed and I couldn't afford to replace it for a long time. I used an inexpensive track phone that did not take pictures. It only did phone calls and text messages. My records are incomplete. The economy struggled during the later Bush years. Then we got the Great Recession and the Obama years. I was always amazed that when the American economy struggled, my little pet sitting business struggled too, bobbing like a cork on a stormy ocean. Customers lost jobs, changed jobs, or were put under threat of losing jobs. When my customers suffered, I did too. I don't remember the details, but Betty lost her job or changed jobs or was merged out of her job. She was out of work for a while. She started a Molly Maids franchise, but that didn't work out for her. Depending on Betty's situation, I sometimes took care of her dogs and sometimes didn't. Meanwhile, Dusty got a stroke and had to be put down. I still remember her on the back porch howling, "Aroo, aroo, aroo, hey, what about me?" I never tried to walk Casey and Dusty together. Betty told me Dusty was too difficult. Apparently, she became unmanageable around other dogs. After Dusty passed, I started walking Casey. We didn't do big walks, just easy walks around the neighborhood. Betty lived near the Dongan Hills train station. It's a nice neighborhood for dog walking. Casey really enjoyed the walks. She was so grateful. It really enriched her life. I am so glad I started walking her. Betty decided to acquire another dog, Sasha. Sasha was a young female black lab. Understand, I came to love Sasha, but she needed to be an only pet. She wanted to kill other small animals, dogs, cats, squirrels, and she bullied Casey. Poor Casey was an elder dog at this point. Sasha was young and strong. Sasha just bullied Casey and bullied Casey. Casey was unable to defend herself. Sasha got the nice spot in the sun. Sasha got the soft spot on the dog bed. Sasha got the center spot on the rug. Sasha got petted first. Sasha got treats first. Sasha, Sasha, Sasha. Casey had to hide under the dining table in a forest of chair legs to protect herself. Sasha was also food aggressive, so the dogs had to be fed in separate rooms. There wasn't anything I could do but watch. They weren't my dogs, though I loved them both. Casey lasted about a year and died of pancreatitis. I have always believed that Sasha aggravated poor Casey to death. Maybe Sasha would have gotten along better with a male dog. I doubt it. But not with a female dog. Sasha bullied poor old Casey relentlessly. This is one of my favorite pictures of Casey. I call it Pretty Casey. She was such a sweet dog. Tip from a professional pet sitter. There is always a problem with taking in a second dog. The first dog may resent it. She may get stuck with a new roommate she never wanted, and you never know who the new roommate is until you get her home. Part of the problem was that Sasha needed to be an only dog. She would have been fine in a single dog, single pet household. Another side of the problem was that Sasha was a female dog and competed with Casey, also a female dog, over everything. Somebody was going to be the boss, and Sasha made certain she was the boss. It might have been better for Casey if Betty had taken in a male dog. In my experience, male dogs are often submissive to female dogs and allow them to be the leader. Plus, there is a boy-girl dynamic going on that often works better. I've known several cases where the boy-girl dynamic worked well and the dogs were good companions for each other. On the other hand, dogs of the same sex may compete with each other over dominance. Continuing our story. Sasha was fine as an only dog. She and I walked all over the neighborhood. Sasha was young and strong. We used to walk from her house near the Dongan Hills train station to the Jefferson Avenue train station, then around and home. Sometimes we walked the other way to the Old Town train station and then around and home. Back then I worked part-time as a dog trainer for PetSmart. I trained Sasha to sit, down, and stay. Stay was a tough one for Sasha since she had to learn delayed gratification, not an easy concept for a treat-loving black lab. I always rewarded her with a jackpot of treats. I would hold up my left hand like a stop sign and say, "Stay," then back away holding a jackpot of treats in my right hand. I worked on it with her until I could back into the other room and out of sight. When I came back, Sasha would be wild-eyed, gleeful with joy. "Oh boy, I'm gonna get treats!" Here are pictures of Betty and Sasha at PetSmart during Christmas 2008 and Christmas 2010. I didn't hear from Betty for a while. She called me for a special meet and greet appointment in January of 2012. Betty was seriously ill. She was going to the hospital for some special tests. Could I please sleep over with Sasha a few days? Of course I could. There had been another change too. Sasha had gotten her tail broken in a car door and it had to be amputated. She was fine now. Betty was diagnosed with emphysema. She died in 2013. She was only 50 years old. At the time, I was 64. I considered her a young woman. Her brother and sister-in-law came to care for Sasha and Betty's house. I will call them the relatives. They said they believed that Betty's emphysema was job-related, but they could never prove which employer, when, or where. I did not know Betty back in 2001 or 2002. Today there are radio and TV ads for lawyers seeking recovery money from the 9/11 Victims Fund. I've wondered if Betty worked in Lower Manhattan during the critical years of 2001 and 2002. The relatives lived in Manhattan. They came to Staten Island with their dog Misty to care for Sasha and arrange the affairs for Betty's estate. Misty was a cute female basset hound. See, isn't she cute? Sasha was an old lab dog at this point. The plan was for the relatives to live with Sasha until she passed over the Rainbow Bridge, then sell the house and move back to Manhattan. Initially, things went okay. I was called occasionally to care for Sasha and Misty. I only walked Sasha because Misty wasn't into walking. Then one day, while under the care of the relatives, Sasha attacked Misty. The relatives couldn't tolerate that. They surrendered Sasha to an adoption agency. Sasha's prospects were not good. Here are some videos and pictures I took hoping to help Sasha get adopted. And she did get adopted. I was so happy for her. The adopting family had another dog in the house. Nobody told them that Sasha was food aggressive. Shortly after the adoption, a fight broke out between Sasha and the other dog over food. Dogs got bitten. People got bitten. Sasha got returned to the adoption agency. I loved Sasha, but I could not adopt her myself. I had 6 cats in a small basement apartment. Sasha would have killed my cats. I doubt she would have gotten along well with Beto, my landlord's 170-pound St. Bernard dog. I doubt he would have welcomed her. I live on the North Shore of Staten Island. Sasha was kept at Country Estate Kennels far on the South Shore by the Outer Bridge Crossing. I visited her a few times. I took her for walks, but there are no nice places to walk dogs down there. She was always glad to see me. This is my last picture of Sasha at Country Estate Kennel. Sasha came down with adrenal gland failure. I believe the vet said it was Addison disease. She was old. She was in pain. It could not be cured. Sasha was scheduled to be put down. I wanted so much to be with her that final day, but I got sick. By the time I got to Country Estate Kennel, she had been put down. I've always felt that being abandoned in the kennel aggravated Sasha to death. This video has been hard for me to make. It is a celebration of life about Betty and her dogs Dusty, Casey, and Sasha. Betty was my customer on and off for about 10 years. Her dogs were my beloved friends. Betty was an attractive young woman. She died at age 50. I still can remember Dusty on the back porch howling, "Aroo, aroo, aroo! Hey, what about me?" Pretty Casey was such a lovely dog. I am so glad I walked her and enriched the last years of her life. I will always remember Sasha, wild-eyed with anticipation, waiting to get her jackpot of treats after a stay. My company's mission statement is, I seek to enrich the lives of the pets in my care. I know I did that for Dusty, Casey, and Sasha. I know they enriched my life too. That is one of the biggest joys of pet sitting.